Okay, so where do we start? Let's start with the Wicked Witch of the West and her army of flying monkeys. If you've seen the movie The Wizard of Oz, and most of us have, it's a classic, you know that the Wicked Witch of the West had an army of flying monkeys, literal flying monkeys, to do her bidding. They did whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted it, and they didn't really have much choice in the matter. Now, somewhere along the line, somebody borrowed this term to refer to the people who do the narcissist's bidding. Essentially, these people often end up doing the narcissist's dirty work. And in this video today, we're going to talk a little bit more about the flying monkey, what it really means to be a flying monkey, why these people even do this in the first place, because it doesn't sound very appealing, does it? And what happens when these people fall out of favor of the narcissist? So when they become no longer useful to a narcissist, what goes down? So we're going to talk about all of that in today's video, and we're going to close it out with a takeaway that I think we should all be focusing on in 2021 and beyond. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Common Ego community. My name is Christina, and on this channel we talk about emotional abuse, how it relates to spirituality, and we attempt to answer the question, where do we go from here? So if those topics interest you, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell icon so you can be notified whenever I post new content. So today we're talking about the flying monkey. And if you have not dealt with narcissists who use groups of people to do their bidding, do their dirty work, this term probably sounds absolutely ridiculous. But for those of you who have dealt with narcissists like this, it's pretty spot on. It's really interesting how predictable the behavior really becomes. So I want to give you a couple of examples of situations where people kind of fit into this flying monkey role. So we've probably all encountered the boss who surrounds his or herself with yes people, people who are only going to do what they say and not really have an opinion of their own. And in instances like this, a lot of times the yes people find themselves tasked with things that are maybe morally questionable, things that they wouldn't otherwise do. But if they want to keep their job, they have to. And really, anyone can find themselves in this situation. But the people who stay are the people who really take to that role, and they do it well. They become the yes people that this narcissist really needs to have around them. Another example of a narcissist who relies on people to fall into that flying monkey role, it's another example from business, and it could be a coworker who takes credit for another person's ideas or another person's work, and they use their group, they use their loyal following to shame the person who actually challenges them, the person who asks them to take responsibility for what they've done. So that launches a smear campaign, and the loyal following will step up and help to take the other person down. Another example of a narcissist who relies on this flying monkey mentality or persona is, or it could be a friend or a family member who really likes to have control. And it could be control of a specific thing, or it could be control usually of everything. And they're going to take down anyone they see as a challenge. And this could also happen if a narcissist feels that they're the most attractive person in the room. If they feel challenged by someone else who is getting attention, or someone else who might be more attractive, more physically attractive, they could use their group of flying monkeys to take that person down. And really, they have no reason for making another person feel bad. And when it comes to the question of getting you to do things that maybe are morally questionable, these are things they could do themselves, but they're just not getting their hands dirty. It's easier for them if you do it, because then it's easier to throw you under the bus if things go wrong. So why would anyone sign up for this? Why does anyone want to be a flying monkey? Well, the truth is nobody really wants to be a flying monkey if you actually know what it is you're doing. But the problem is that narcissists, especially the extroverted ones, can be very charming, and you don't always know what you're dealing with. People who have a lot of Machiavellian tendencies and like to exploit people in situations and are good at it can be very alluring because they know how to get you. They know how to manipulate people into doing what they want. And these people often do have power, or they are associated with other people of power, people with high social status. So it can be enticing for somebody who wants to elevate their own status to be in this person's inner circle, to be in their little bubble. And this often appeals to people who are highly narcissistic themselves. But you don't have to be a narcissist to get swept up in this. So the second reason why people get caught up in this flying monkey business is because they've been around the narcissist long enough to know that that person is vindictive. And they know that it's easier to be in this person's bubble than to be outside of it. So they might participate in a takedown of someone else because it's just easier than it being them. And because they know that there's probably a trade-off. If they refuse, if they don't give the narcissist what he or she wants, it's going to be them sooner rather than later. But the thing is that later always comes, and we're going to get to that soon. So the fate of the flying monkey, or the fall of the flying monkey. If you've known this type of person long enough, somebody who uses other people to do their dirty work, you've probably noticed that they cycle through people like crazy. Their inner circle tends to change a lot. And if it's a work situation, if it's a boss, they cycle through employees. The turnover rate is incredibly high. And that could be true for a few reasons, but it's definitely true because people fall out of favor of the narcissist very quickly. Some will hang on longer than others, and they will feel this illusion of loyalty. But when you're dealing with somebody who is highly narcissistic, and if you can see that they use other people in this way, there's no loyalty. The loyalty is only an illusion. And if you suspect that you have somebody like this in your life, start paying attention to how they treat people, how they treat you, and how they treat others around you. If they seem to be loyal, think about whether there's something in it for them. Think about whether they're really sticking their neck out for other people with nothing to gain. Because a true narcissist really is not going to do that. They're really only out for number one. They're really only out for themselves. And unfortunately, some people really do get caught up in it, and they think they're dealing with somebody who's loyal. They buy into that illusion of loyalty. And, they end up going to great lengths. Maybe they do morally questionable things to help the narcissist, or maybe the narcissist outright asks them to. But here's the thing. We all have to answer for our own actions and our own behaviors. And that's true regardless of whether you're dealing with a narcissist or not. But you'll feel it a lot more when you're dealing with a narcissist, because you will be left out in the cold when that judgment day comes. When it's time for you to take responsibility for the things that you've done in the name of saving your job, or in the name of saving this friendship, or whatever it is, when that day comes, you're going to be standing alone, even if that person was by your side the whole time and participating in everything that was going on. So I'll give you a couple of examples of the fate or the fall of the flying monkey. So imagine the faithful worker, the loyal employee who has done everything their boss has asked them to. But unfortunately, the things that their boss asked them to do didn't really work out. So they're left to take responsibility for all of it, and maybe they even lose their job for it. They become the scapegoat for what was really poor direction and poor leadership, but they have no recourse because they were the ones who took the action. And it often becomes a game of he said, she said. Another example would be maybe a friend who participated in a smear campaign of another good friend. Now, they probably bought into all the hype and maybe lies and manipulations of their highly narcissistic friend. But then one day, it's their turn, and they become the target of a smear campaign. And in those moments, they realize that they took the wrong side. They made a big mistake, and quite possibly they lost a really good friend in the process. So the takeaway for all of us in this, regardless of whether you've dealt with a narcissist or not, whether you've encountered flying monkeys or if you have been the target of a smear campaign, the takeaway for all of us is that in 2021 and beyond, I think we all need to be really careful about our actions and whether they're aligned with our personal beliefs and our morals. Because when that judgment day comes for each of us, we're gonna have to answer to the things that we've done. So it's my belief that now more than ever, we all take a step back and make sure we're living as authentically as possible. If you found this video helpful, please let me know by hitting that like button. And if you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and do so now, and I'll see you next time.